Hello everyone, Krydax here, and welcome back to ClaustOREphobic. So we are going to be figuring out the mining blueprint nonsense in this episode. Well, hopefully. I don't know if we'll get there. We'll get towards that. If we don't figure it out in this episode, it'll be in the coming ones. Because we have blue science, and that is now running. So as we get that researched, we'll get construction bots and recursive blueprints. And we're going to have some circuit hell to go through, I think. Should be interesting. We will discover the joys of that together. But for now, we'll just progress through the blue science to get there. Yeah, let's see. Let me get rid of this sulfur. I'm never going to need sulfur in my inventory. Uh-oh. Apparently, we're already maxed out. There we go. Get rid of that. That's good, though. That means we have enough oil, apparently. At least for the sulfur part. Maybe not for the plastic part. Though that's pretty much backed up. So we might run out of oil at some point, but we're not out yet. So Dave, you're fine. You can message me all you want. Okay, so our base is probably, yeah, still lacking iron, mostly. So once we get bots researched, we can start working on the recursive blueprint stuff. But until then, I am going to need electric engines for the bots. And so why don't I... We're going to need some lubricant. I guess I could switch over to advanced oil already. Maybe I'll do that since my oil's pretty short as is. We'll go ahead and deconstruct this part. And then switch this over. Keep those connected. I probably just wasted some petroleum, but that's okay. Alright, I don't have a lot of room here is the problem. So why don't we just go with 2 refineries, maybe even just one or 2. For now. And then the water is easy enough, we can just get that from here, there's plenty. And then the oil, like so. Okay. So there we go. And we will just make some lubricant, I don't know, right here. It's just heavy oil. We'll deal with the cracking later. Although, I won't need light oil for a long time, so maybe I should crack the light oil now. Where is it? That one. And then call that a day. And then the petroleum, do something like this. We really need pumps though with conditions, because this is gonna back up for sure. Let's see, tank. So let's see, let's have, how do I want to, technically I should condition it on 2 things, which would be we only do the cracking if we have too much light oil and we have room for the petroleum. But given that petroleum is mostly what we need, I think I'll just... Well, the point of this is to make it not back up, so I guess we'll do the if we have too much light oil. Light oil is greater than, I don't know, let's call it 10,000. Okay, so that should be off. Yeah. All right, cool. And then this guy will just run always. And there's the lubricant. And I will create an alarm so that we don't get surprised by this backing up. Doodly-doo. Ta-da. And greater. 24,000. Global playback. Boom. Easy enough. Oh, we should also attach a icon. Show alert. There we go. Okay. So that's done. Blue Science is still running smoothly, it looks like. We actually have all of the buildings running, which is kind of a miracle. And what was I going to work on? Electric engines? Should be easy enough. I will do that here. Let's see. It needs to be that side, otherwise it wouldn't fit in the underground. And then we'll load up these guys, get electric engines going. And then long inserters to remove. Should be all we need there. That's easy enough. Oh, we need to connect the lubricant as well. Let's do that. There's a good spot for that. I feel like I want to go here to here to here to here. I'm really missing those advanced fluid handling underground pipes, like the completely underground pipes. There we go. We got all the lube we could ever need. Alright. Flying robot frames. We need batteries, steel, and green chips. Okay, so steel we've got over here. Battery. Is batteries iron and copper? Yeah, and sulfuric acid. Okay. And sulfuric acid is just water, right? Oh, and iron. Okay, we need iron twice for that. Okay, steel. Oop. Steel's here. And then we need... We've already got iron and copper, so that's what we need for the batteries. Spaghetti nonsense is completely okay with me. So I'm gonna make my sulfuric acid here. Beep, beep, beep. And then you and you. Done. And then a couple battery plants. Alright. Easy peasy. I don't have Bob's inserters, it's true. My spaghetti potential is very limited compared to my normal. This isn't even my final form. My final form has far more spaghetti. Okay, but this is still pretty decent spaghetti, if I may say so myself. Batteries, engines, I'm missing one thing. Green chips. Green chipperinos. Why don't I just put that with the... I'll put this with the engines. And there we go. We got ourselves ingredients for some robot frames. Just like that. And... ta-da! Already going. Once the researches are done. And then we need more green chips to make conbots out of that. Which I shall. I am a bit concerned about the amount of red chips we need for roboports, but we're only going to need a couple of those, I guess. We have a very small base, so that's okay. Sweet. All right. Well, that was actually not that bad. I forget how easy vanilla is compared to these insane mods. You know, like, normally it takes like 15 episodes to get bots going. Here it's like, it'll just take like 5 minutes to set it up. We are very short on iron still. I probably need to, yep, I was about to say, I probably need to move my miners back. It's been a while. It's been a while, hasn't it? Goodness. Soon we won't have to do this anymore, and that is gonna be awesome. Okay, so you can go here. Wait, did I get that right? Yeah. And then we'll leave a space because we get 2 more on each side. So that, wait, how did that? Am I crazy? We get 2 more on each side, which would allow for 1 more drill and 1 space in the middle. Oh, but I already had a space in the middle. So we get 1 more drill, and now we have 2 spaces in the middle. That makes sense. That makes sense. Oh, we're out of belts. Dave, you're right, but we don't really have the resources to support more than that, so I don't think it's worth building more than that right now. Speaking of resources, let me steal some more iron while I'm here, and steal even more iron. Now we'll never have enough. I'm just gonna craft some more poles. Put these in the trash. Take some more steel. Okay, get this hooked up. Need some more lamps. I love lamp. Need copper. Alright, let's grab some copper plates. Do I have iron plates? Yeah, we're good on iron. Alright, so that'll get that belt flowing again. This belt has become a bit anemic as well. Odd. I guess the middle ones don't have as much overlap, and that's why they're not done. I can expand that a little bit, and I shall. Soon enough, we'll have the self-expanding drills, which is going to be so nice. Oh, I wonder if it'll be able to deal with trees. I'll have to figure out how to do that. Oh yeah, and we got this whole section lined up. And was this its own belt? Or was it mixing with the other one? This was its own belt, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And once that one's done, which it's not too far away, then we can have this whole row get started. Yeah, putting speed modules on the miners on the ends would be nice for sure. Okay, so that'll at least keep things flowing for now. And yeah, I do need some red circuits, which are kind of in short supply, but what can you do? I'll grab 2 roboports. And I will need blueprint deployers, which also means I need green circuits. I'm gonna need 1 of these for every, maybe 2. I haven't figured it out yet. I might need 2 of these each, but I think I can make do with just 1 of those. Plus I'll need combinators. I'm just gonna make 10 of each for now. 12 of each. A bunch of each wire. We'll just let that go for a while. Okay, and our base is going to be very sad, resource-wise, because we do not have enough stuff. I'm so close to done. I'll go ahead and get these started. Just need to get these 2 here. I guess I could manually mine this. There's only a couple. There we go. Alright, so now those are running. I guess we could just get some more ore there. The ore, the merrier. Get it? The more? Because ore is in the word more? Yeah, that's a pretty bad joke. I don't even know if that's a joke or a pun. Play on, I guess it's a play on words. It's a bad one. Okay. Still not a full belt of iron. Someday we'll have a full belt of iron. How much iron do you need to launch a rocket? That's a question I don't know the answer to. We've gotten 88,000 so far. But yeah, I mean, we don't even have enough for the red circuits. I might, just because we're so short on ore right now, what I might do is install some extra miners over here. What's up, infantryman? How's it going? Welcome, welcome. Ugh, my stupid bot. Why is it always... It just disables itself after some amount of time. Let's see. Let me see if I can turn it back on real quick. Infantryman is a fellow Factorio streamer. You guys should check him out. He has streamed a lot of Hynodons in the past. I don't know what you've been playing recently. Where's the button? Turn on the bot. Cloud bot. Turn on. Here we go. I don't know why CloudBot disables itself, but it does. Will that do it? Nope, still not on. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, sweet. Oh, and Eve Online. Look at that. You're near the end. That's impressive. That is impressive. Someday we'll get there. Okay. I'm just going to put some ore in chests here. And hoping that we can get a little bit of a kickstart to our iron with this. We'll just grab the iron ore out. Apparently, you've made 118,000 more copper plates than you've consumed. Yeah, buffers will get you if you're not paying attention. Hey, we have 10 construction robots. Sweet. All right. Well, we're going to get our initial bots set up over here. And then we're going to need this region also connected to our mall. So we'll put this over here. Looks like I'm still going to need another one. The bots. Let the bots free. Free the bots. Okay, I'm just going to fill up on all my things here. Don't need those. Shouldn't I be using a splitter? Yeah, I guess since I want just iron, I should put a splitter over here. I don't need as many since it's just iron. I also don't want this much stone in my inventory, or wood for that matter. Okay, so there's a little bit of extra stone. Should help our base. Oh, you got a 5800? That's awesome. Okay, so that'll kickstart our iron a bit. Not as much as we'd like, but, you know. It's the best we can do for now. And what are we missing? What the heck? Apparently, I have some blueprints that I never built. Oh, there you go. Power pole there. And a blue inserter. Whee! Down here. Look at that. All that steel just sitting there. Not enough logistic network storage space. What would they even be storing? Hmm. Five miners. Oh, they're auto deconstructing. Okay, so we want to turn off that setting. So the picker mod has a setting. Which one is it? Might be in the map setting. Yeah, mark empty drills. We want to turn that off. Because we don't want that to actually be happening. We want to manage the deconstruction of my drills, because we're gonna have our self-extending blueprint for that. which we are going to start working on designing. And I say start, I already sort of started because I didn't want to completely have no earthly idea what I was doing on stream. So I did do a little bit on my own. Why do we still have no batteries? Is it just the iron? It's sulfur. What? Oh, it is the iron. Yeah. Definitely the iron. Okay. So yeah, I looked into it a little bit. I think I have an idea for what we're going to be doing. So we'll get started on that here. It's going to require some combinators and this blueprint deployer from the Recursive Blueprints mod. I don't think we're going to need a sensor, though, which is kind of nice because those are a pain in the butt to manage. We'll go ahead and save it. And I am going to move over to the editor. This is the editor extensions mod. And that way we can kind of test things without... It can just be a pain in the butt to try to test it this way. So what I'm going to do is make a very small ore. Well, a big ore patch, but it only has one per square. And then we're going to work on a blueprint that will mine all the way back here. So what we're going to need is some power. So we'll have infinite power here. And then we will have our roboports, all sorts of things. Some belts, chests, wires, all the combinators. We need the logistics bots. And hey, thanks for the follow, Zygorg. Do we need anything else from here? Not yet. Oh, and pipes. So, a couple of main ideas. Uranium is going to be a problem, right? Because uranium is scattered amongst the iron. And let's emulate that here. And so we're going to need our drills to be capable of dealing with uranium. The problem is you can't build pipes on the ore. So that means if your miner has ore next to it, you can't put a pipe there. And you can't face this sideways because you can't build belts on the ore. So you really have no solution other than having the front of your miner sticking out so you can connect the pipes on the side. So what that means is, unfortunately, we're going to have to move our drill every 2 squares. Normally you could start drilling all the way back here and then move it 4 squares back. We're going to do 2 squares at a time. So that way the side of our miner is exposed and we can get sulfuric acid to the side of it. So our blueprint is basically going to be this, and we're just going to keep moving it back. 2 squares once it's empty, 2 more squares, and then we'll just keep going back like that. So that's the plan. And we'll have a circuit connection like that to the power pole. And we'll just keep extending that 2 tiles back at a time. We'll see if it works. That's literally it. So this is the basics. I will also include this in the blueprint. Otherwise, the connection between these 2 poles, you know, when we move it back, won't exist. So this needs to be the blueprint. So this is the blueprint. It's super simple. Mining Extendo-Print. 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 Nope, I like the word extendo. So the other thing you want to do is you can set the grid position of where the blueprint deployer kind of sees it to be. I'll have it at the middle of the miner, I guess. We can change that later, but for now that's fine. So that's it. Now, how does the blueprint deployer work? Well, let me show you. Basically, if you send it... So let's put the blueprint in there. And if you send it a signal... of a construction bot, it will create the blueprint that's inside. So if I were to just send it, you can see that it's trying to place the blueprint centered on itself, because that would be the center of the miner right here. And obviously we don't want that, but that's how it would work. You can then change the X and Y coordinates of where it's centered with these. So if I wanted it to be 5 tiles down and 5 tiles to the right, then we do that. The Y goes top to bottom, not bottom to top. It's like programming X and Y, not algebra X and Y. So if we turn that on, you can see it's 5 tiles down and to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the center of the miner. It can't place a miner because there's no ore. And you can see it's constantly placing that blueprint. So even if I like delete these, they come back immediately. So that's the basics. You can deconstruct in one of 2 ways. You can either put a deconstruction planner in here with filters and then trigger it with the construction bot signal. Or you can send a deconstruction planner signal, which is interesting. The signal does not appear anywhere in this menu, which is really interesting. But you can still get the signal by actually taking the item and putting it here. So I find that to be interesting, that this isn't a complete list of all the signals you can send. The upgrade planner is also missing from here. So anyway, you can deconstruct by sending a -1 signal with this, along with the X and Y, along with the height and width of what you want to deconstruct. So that's the H and W signals. So if we wanted to deconstruct... And what's interesting about this is we're only going to have to deconstruct the miner. Like, that's it. We won't have to delete anything else because we're not using undergrounds or anything. We could use undergrounds, but I think for simplicity, I'm just going to have one long belt. So it's just going to deconstruct the miner and then construct the new one 2 tiles back along with the 2 pipes and the 2 belts. So really all we need to do is a height and width of 1. From here, it would be an X of 1, 2, 3 and a Y of 1, 2, 3. So we can set X and Y to 3. I will turn off the... I'm curious what happens, actually. If we send, like, a construct and deconstruct at the same time, what happens? Oh, the Y needs to be -3. Oh, sorry, from the deployer. The X is only supposed to be 1. Not from the constant combinator. So 1 and up 3. Interesting. It's not doing anything. Huh. I would have thought it'd be marking it for deconstruction. Somehow it's like adding the blueprint and deleting it every tile? Or do these cancel out? Yeah, I mean, it's properly blueprinting, and if we put this here again and delete that, then yeah, it does deconstruct the whatchamacallit, the miner. And then if we were to then send the construction bot signal, it should reconstruct it. Where are you, Mr. Bot? There we go. So that is the core of how this works. You know, we need to read the signal from the miner, which the miner just sends the signal of how much ore it has left. When it reaches 0, we trigger a deconstruction. And then... so let's actually power that up. So like when this miner runs out, we want to deconstruct it and then construct the blueprint 2 tiles back. And that's it. And then start measuring the ore from that miner. And then we just keep going back. And we'll need to supply sulfuric acid to all these pipes. So basically once that's done, we deconstruct just the miner. We construct a new one 2 tiles back. Make these, make these, make this. Along with that connection. And that's the goal. And it'll work its way back, and it can handle uranium because it will have the pipe connection next to it the whole time. Thank goodness that miners have a 5x5 radius, because if they didn't, we'd be screwed. And we technically can put one of these every 4 tiles instead of every 5, and that will make our mining a little bit more dense. But I could do it wider, so I don't need as many of them to clear a big space. So I don't really know which way we'll do it. But yeah, let's get to designing the blueprint. All the combinator nonsense that we're going to have to do. I already have an idea for how we're going to do it. We'll see if it works. I did a little bit of testing in the editor, and I think it was working. So we'll find out. So what we'll do is we'll start with, just for argument's sake, we'll start with one that has a signal of ore and just a chest. It'll be miners in the future. And we're going to have a decider combinator that says, hey, if if anything, we want everything is equal to 0. Then we will output the red signal, the deconstruction signal. So the only way that this will be a true signal is if there are no inputs, or if all the inputs it has are 0, which is also the same as no inputs. We need power for all this. Let me just get a substation, actually. Okay, so there we go. So that's combinator number 1. Now, the problem here, I say problem, just something you have to think of, is these deployers, they want a pulse signal. They don't want a constant signal. If you send a constant signal, they keep trying to do the thing. You only want it to do the thing once. We want to send the deconstruction signal once. And so I just want to send one pulse. What that means is we want this red signal to only exist for 1 tick. And the way we're going to do that is by adding a negative of the signal that we're sending. We get all these on the top bar here. So we're going to send a negative of the same signal. So we're going to do red times -1. There's the negative, and output red. And then we're going to attach that output to the same output as the main one. I have a picture on my phone. I put it on paper so I remember what color I wanted to do. Okay, yeah. So this is going to be a red output. This will be attached to the same output. And then this is a green attachment here. So then you can see that the red signal is already gone. So the red signal will just be a 1 quick pulse. I attach green here, there's no signal. As soon as I unattach the green, there was a pulse, which I guess is, unless I pause the game, you can't really see it, but it was there. Because this takes 1 tick to like process, so you can add a 1 tick delay by adding a combinator in between. And as long as this is sending the red, then this is sending the -1 red, and they remain canceled out. So it's actually kind of nice. This is a way to essentially say, hey, I don't care how long it's true. I only ever want you to send a pulse of this signal when it becomes true. So it transitions from false to true, send a pulse, and don't send a pulse again until it transitions from false to true. Which won't happen until we've constructed a new miner that sees ore and sends the ore signal to this combinator, you know, and then becomes blank again. So it won't trigger again until we've gotten more ore. and then it's been depleted. So I believe that's all going to work correctly. So now we've got our pulse. And that pulse is going to get multiplied by a constant combinator supplying the details. I never know which way to rotate these bad boys. You also get a negative pulse on the falling edge. Oh, crap. You're right. Is that going to screw us up? I don't think a -1 of the construction bot will trigger anything. So I think that's okay. And I also don't think... Yeah, you are right about that. I hadn't thought about that. I could add a third combinator with a possibility filter. Yeah, I don't think that's necessary because a -1 pulse of the bot won't do anything, and it'll have a -1 of the decon planner, and I don't think a +1 pulse of the decon planner does anything. So I don't think anything will happen on the negative pulses. And the negative pulse will happen when we connect up to ore again. Yeah, I don't think anything will happen there. So I think that'll be fine. I'm glad you pointed that out, though. That's good understanding to have of circuits. So anyway, so our constant combinator for the deconstruction pulse is going to have the deconstruction planner on -1. It needs to have our coordinates. We're going to design one that goes up first, and then we'll have to change the numbers slightly for ones that go left, ones that go right, and ones that go down. They'll all be very similar, but small changes. So the deconstruction is a width and height of 1. I don't think you need to set it. I think it defaults to 1, but I'm just going to do that to make sure. And the X, we'll probably have it at 1. I'll fully decide later. And the Y will probably be -3-ish. Now the Y is something that's interesting because that has to increment. Every time, you know, we mine 2 more, we're going to have to increment the Y by 2. So the way that we do that is we have... Well, first let's get our decider. So this is going to take our constant combinator input from a green wire along with our pulse. This is the single pulse of red signal. So we're going to take everything times... Wait, what am I doing? Not a decider. Arithmetic. So each times red. And so we're going to output each. So essentially everything gets multiplied by red, including red, but the red signal doesn't do anything here, so it's not going to matter. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all of these signals that we want. They're going to get multiplied by the red. And so when we have our 1 pulse of the red value being 1, then it will send all that to the deployer. So then we'll hook that up to the deployer. And then this gets connected here. So that will be our deconstruction pulse. It would make incrementing the Y easier if it was positive only. Oh, shoot. The negative pulse is going to mess up my incrementing. I didn't think about that. Yeah, so we'll talk about the incrementing next. So the incrementer that I have figured is an arithmetic. So this is like the incrementer. And it takes the Y plus 0, outputs Y, and it's connected to itself. And so what that does is that takes whatever signal we have and it just keeps looping it within itself. And that gets connected to here as well. And then when we send the red pulse, we have a another arithmetic that takes red times 2, or I guess -2, and outputs y. And so that will take this red pulse. When we get the red pulse of 1, it will send a y signal of -2, and that will get hooked up here. And that'll add 2 into this. This is essentially a variable, and it'll add 2 to this variable, and then it'll keep looping that same number. The reason it only adds 2 is because we only get 1 signal. And when I say add 2, I mean add -2. But we are going to have to worry about that -1 pulse. So it's annoying because I have to use another combinator. I really want to reduce the combinators. I'm trying to think if there's a way to do it without having... another one. I could... So we're going to send the negative pulse as soon as OR, the input OR becomes true. As soon as input OR is something greater than 0. As soon as we have anything greater than 0, or not equal to 0, then this will become true again. False. It'll become false again. The 1 will stop outputting, and that will create the delay. So to cancel it out, we would then need to send a pulse of 1 more tick, essentially. I think there's no way to do that without adding a combinator, so we might as well just do the simpler version, which is just... So there's our pulse, and it only sends... If red is greater than 0, it sends red. So that'll send a red of 1. It'll output a red of 1. This will cancel out the red of 1. So it'll be at 0 again. This will be doing nothing. That will stop sending a red of 1. This will still have sent a red of -1. So this will have a red of -1, and that will still do nothing. So I think that's just a only send if true decider there. So we'll compact that a bit. So there's our red pulse. And then that red pulse goes to here and here. And our counter for Y should now work. And the Y coordinates get added into whatever these are, and they don't... This signal will have a Y coordinate, but it won't get thrown into the variable because they're different colors of wire. And then the last thing we need to do is construct the blueprint, which will be another one of these, but with a blue pulse, you know, because it's a blueprint. And all we need to do is send the blue pulse 1 tick after the red pulse, which is easy enough. We basically just say, hey, if red is greater than 0, send a blue. Or we could say an arithmetic, red plus 0, send blue. You know, like it wouldn't really matter. But yeah, if red is greater than 0, send a blue. And then that will also be connected to the red pulse. Move this down. We'll kind of go from left to right here to make sense of it. These are all the things that get the red pulse. Might actually help to have these spread out a little bit. So yeah, there's the red pulse. And then that creates the blue pulse, which then hits this guy. This guy also has a constant combinator with similar settings. This one will target where the blueprint gets built, the center of it. We want that to be the same place that the deconstruction targets, so I can keep that the same. I don't know if width and height matter at all when you're constructing a blueprint. They probably don't. I will also say I considered moving the whole thing, right? Like deconstructing itself, moving the combinators, and then reconstructing, like moving the computer along with the miner. I don't think that accomplishes much. And it's way more complicated. This is complicated enough for my little rat brain. I could not... I tried for a second to even think about how to do it, and it's just so many steps. Because you have to move the blueprint deployer. You have to move the blueprint that's inside of the blueprint deployer, which there is a way to copy it, but you can only copy it if it's already in a chest. So I would have to have an inserter that takes it out of the deployer, puts it in a chest, make a new deployer, copy it from the chest into the deployer, deconstruct the old deployer, which is a different signal, because the regular signal of deconstruction won't deconstruct a deployer, even if the area includes it. You have to send a -2 of a deconstruction planner. It's a whole mess. I'm not doing that. So we're just sticking with this. But yeah, I think this is actually pretty good. You need the output of the blue pulse to hit that, and then that connects to the deployer. And I believe that's it. I think this is all we need. So what is this? This is 5 arithmetics, 3 deciders, 2 constants, and a deployer. I'm sure Doshington did it better. He has a degree. I mean, I have a degree, but it's in math, not in whatever the hell you call this. So I'll call this good enough for me. I am curious to go see how he did it now. It's probably much more clever. But this is what I've got, and I'll call it good enough. So we will compactify this a bit, and then we will figure out how to get it working with my system here. I guess it can be up to 4 wide, because the mining stuff is 4 wide. So... this is where Pickerdollies really shines, right? Is you can just, like, everything stays connected, all the settings stay the same, and you can just shift them around. Like, it's so nice. All the wires stay connected properly. So there we go. I think this is it. So I'm going to copy this, get it positioned with our mining here, and we'll do some testing to make sure it actually functions properly. I guess the one problem is the ore. There's no room for ore to be happening. I guess we can just position it behind. Yeah, let's get this. Yeah, we'll just do it like that. I could do an underground. I could move this. I guess I could move both of these so that there's room for an underground there. Yeah, maybe we'll do it that way. Okay. So the only things that really matter here that I will need to change are the base signals for the coordinates, and then the counter will change whether we're changing the X or Y, and then this guy is the input of green or red. Doesn't even matter. Green or red wire, that is. So this is the base. I guess we'll put the pipe on the right, since that's how this all shook out. Yes, I will definitely need to change the X and Y from whatever I had it at. Okay, so that's that. Oh, I guess it needs power too, doesn't it? Alright, so we'll attach green wire with the power pole. And then that's it. So we will have the base model like this. Just put that there for now. And let's fix the numbers. So there's our blueprint deployer. I do need mining Extendo-Print to be in our library. Well, oops, I just deconstructed that. Undo. So the mining Extendo-Print. Why is it leaving? I don't want it to leave. How do you... Need a copy of it, I guess? If you copy one of these, does it come with the blueprint? No, it doesn't. We can copy the blueprint. It's just kind of annoying. You basically, you put it in a chest, and then you send, I think a signal of some sort. So we take the blueprint, we put it in a chest. These are connected, and we send like a blueprint signal to the deployer. I think. Which, of course, doesn't exist. So we need a blueprint. No, that wasn't it. I thought that was it. Now I have to Google recursive blueprints real quick. What was the signal? Copy. It's the C signal. And then you can delete a blueprint with a -1. But sending a C of 1 will copy it. Ta-da! And then it copies it in. And you could just get as many as you want. Okay. Anyway. So the deployer is here. So the X is -2 for this guy and this guy. And the Y is -1, 2, 3, 4 at the starting level. And then the Y of -2 is the correct incrementation of it. And now we put the blueprint in. Pipes need to be on the right. Shoot, so it's the wrong blueprint. Can you mirror it from this? I don't think you can. No, I have way too many of these. Okay, so now we need to... No, what am I doing? That goes to... Now that is the mining Extendo-Print. These are the droids I'm looking for. Move that one back to the left. Save. So this is one we want. And then if all goes according to plan, I can connect this up. Well, I guess there's a little bit of initialization problem here because the miner's already done before I've connected everything. That will be, I guess, an issue that will be present. However, that won't normally be the case, because normally the miner will have enough resources that it won't be done already. So if I hook that up, it should reset everything. And now, once this finishes, it should work, I think. I mean, maybe not. I guess we'll find out. This needs pipes and belts and poles. So here we go, moment of truth. Does this chaos work? I'll be so happy if it does. Yeah, speed modules will definitely be a thing, but we can change the blueprint easily enough once we have them. Oh, you're just saying to speed this process up. We only have to wait 5 more seconds. It's fine. 10 seconds, I guess. All right, and it's out. Okay. Did not work. It constructed it too far up. And it didn't deconstruct. Probably because it did... Okay, it almost worked. Almost worked. Intriguing. I think the issue is that we probably added... before we... Yeah, how'd we get to -4? And why do we have an input signal? Oh, okay. The blueprint's fine. How did it get to 4? Had this already triggered once? Might have already triggered once. Let me... Copy that. Deconstruct it. Reconstruct it. Put the blueprint back in. Oh. Interesting. It kind of starts at -2 because the signal that it's being sent when you build it, it triggers on everything equaling 0, which is true when you build it. That also could glitch out because if it builds the miner first and then the rest of the stuff, it comes into existence with everything not equaling 0. So it initializes differently whether the miner is built before or after. Yes, Dave. Everything that I send from these includes the Y from the constant combinators. It just initializes too large if the miner's not connected. So I'm just trying to decide, there's 2 ways we could fix it. We could try to figure out a fix that handles both cases, or we could just fix it such that I assume this is always going to happen. That's the simpler method. It's less robust. But simpler. I think I'll just do it that way. So I'll just have that -2 baked in, and therefore I will decrease these. And then we should be good to go. So now we copy this again, we delete that one, we paste that one in. We deconstruct that, we construct it anew. And then, yeah, we've got a -2 looping. I guess I deleted the blueprint when I deconstructed it that way. So my mining extendo is still wrong. Okay, that one's correct. Okay, let's see if this works. I feel like I'm missing something. Deconstruction worked. That's good news. Oh, right. I need the blueprint. Duh. Well, now I broke it again. This is kind of a pain in the butt to initialize. So that's all there. The miner. Is there... We need the power pole. Power pole's too far in front of it. It needs to be here to start. Oh, but then it's not powering the build. I guess we need to do it like this. That needs to be the core blueprint. That goes into here. Should have had a V8. Alright, that's probably not version 8, but that way I know which one's the right one. Okay, so delete all that. Add this in. Let me add a little bit more just so it lasts a second. Then we build the V8 in the correct spot, which is here. I guess that needs to be blank. Okay. So then that's there. And then that wire connects to here, connects to there, and this is now the mama bear. That should work. Isn't pain in the butt a good description of the recursive blueprint mod? Yeah, it sure seems like it. Oh, and I need to put the thing in there. Okay. Is that the right one? I think so. No! Oh, I forgot to rebuild these. Again. But I think I set it up now so that I can just build this, right? Isn't that the whole point? Just hashtag works. If I put the V8 in here. Guess we'll find out. The moment of truth. Oh. Damn it. Oh, I literally just had the problem I was talking about. So annoying. Maybe... Okay, I have an idea. Maybe in the core blueprint, I don't have this connected, and then it will always send the red pulse when it gets built. And then I can manually connect. I will have to manually connect every single one I build, though, which is kind of annoying. But the problem is when you build stuff in the editor, it pastes it immediately, and then it gets built immediately, which means it did have the iron signal existing on the first tick, which then never sent the initial pulse of -2. If I ever lose power, it'll fail horribly. I don't even want to think about what happens if I lose power. Yeah, we're just gonna ignore that. Okay, yeah. I think that's how I want to do it. So, Mama Bear, where'd you go? Just don't lose power. Exactly. Now we're thinking. I have no idea what's what anymore. I know that one's the wrong one. Excuse me. All right. That goes there. That, make a cup. You are just confusing me. How do I delete a blueprint that just exists? What is it? Shift. Oh, I guess we killed it. It is shift right click. Did that put it in my logistics? I don't know what that does. Okay, so I've already lost track of what I'm doing now. This is the build. This is the build that we build, and then we connect the wire, and then all should be good. So kill all that. We sprinkle some ore. We place the build somewhere where it fits. And then what was up with that? That was weird. And then I connect this and put that there. Oh, I barely got there in time. I think it's working. I think it's working. I think it's working. Yeah, underground pipe for the acid would be a good call. Oh my gosh. I think we did it. Now we can just sit back and relax and watch recursive blueprints do their thing. Now, is this going to result in a lot of pipes and a lot of power poles? Yes. Do I care? Not one bit. It'll work. It'll work. I think we did it. And it'll deal with uranium. Alright. I don't hate it. I don't hate it one bit. We are going to have to figure out... Let's see. Let's build it out of the power radius here. So, underground pipe, good idea. We need that there. Yeah, it'll escape robot range, but I can handle that. And the nice thing is they're spaced out by 4. Oh, but the pipes, I can just put an underground and drop a roboport in there easily enough. Once we have super force build, I can just super force build a roboport. And it'll make the undergrounds for me. Okay, so this is the vertical. Is there anything else I want to throw in here first? I don't think so. So we copy this. And we call it Extendo Mining North. Save. And then I copy this with 2 of those and 2 of these and this and connections. That is deployer extendo mining north. Oh, you're right. I did have the wire connected. That's extendo mining north. Save. Okay, and then so extendo mining north, we are going to add an in for north. And then deployer extendo mining north, we'll do in with, I don't know, that's fine from the symbol. And then we need to snap to grid, 1, 1. There we go. Okay. So that's the north version. Build the west version. So that's this way. And I will have to change these around a bit now. So now the X's are negative. You can also rotate blueprints with a signal, but I'm not going to concern myself with that. I'm just going to have 2 different ones for west and north. Maybe I should. So the computer version, I don't think I can just rotate, but I could just rotate the extendo one. Let me... Did I close the Recursive Blueprints? Recursive Blueprints website. I think it's just the R signal. Rotate. Yeah. R signal rotates the blueprint. R equals 1 equals 90 degree clockwise. R equals 2 equals 180. R equals 3 equals 270 or 90 degrees counterclockwise. Okay. So what we want is... I do need to fix these still. Okay. So the deployer is 1, 2, 3, 4, -4. Oh, but it gets the extra -2 from this already. Okay, okay. So that's X, that's X. X and Y are already both -2. How convenient is that? I don't even need to change it. Thinking ahead. Now we're thinking ahead. So this needs to change to X, and that's it. I think. Believe it or not. Oh, and then we need the R. We want to rotate it. It's facing down. We want to rotate it counterclockwise, so that's R equals 3. Add it into our signals. That's an S. I believe that's all I have to change. And now I can put the deployer extendo mining north, and it will rotate properly. Yeah, R equals 4. Or any power of 4 will get us there. Let's connect this to power and see if it actually works. Uh-oh. All sorts of bad things are happening. Why is that there? I blame one of these. Something went wrong. Let's copy this and try again. Oh, the y needs to be +2, not -2. Okay, why didn't it trigger a deconstruct? Oh, I forgot to connect the wire. That's going to be a pain in the butt, isn't it? I kind of want to fix it. How do I fix it? It's like I almost need some sort of SR latch. Or construct it with some sort of constant combinator symbol already built. But then again, like if bots do the constructing, that could still go wrong. I don't know. I'll just leave it the way it is. Okay, let's try one more time. So build this here. Connect the wire. Put in the blueprint. So many steps. And then we also need the y to be +2, not -2. That should fix it. Yeah, exactly. I don't initialize very often, assuming things work correctly. Oh, shucks. That's off by somehow more? Oh. Well, I put the wrong blueprint in there, and that's why it's all wrong. Okay, that's on me. Let's try again. Extendo mining north. No, we don't want that. Control V. Okay. Extendo mining west. Attempt number 3. Connect the wire. Put the correct one in, which is just that one. Do need to change the y to 2. Both of these. Now everything should work. Hey, I think it did it. I think it worked. Just make sure. But I think we did it. Woohoo! This is sweet. Now that's what I call a mining drill. Drills its way backwards. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so then I can copy this again. Let me change the y to 2, because that's what we had to change. And then I can save this guy. Delete that one. Save this one as Extendo Mining West. And it's really nice because they use the same put W twice so it's easier to see. They use the same input blueprint, so that's nice. So I can just make a bunch of that input blueprint, which is in my blueprint book. This one. Sweet. So there you go. Recursive blueprints is pretty sweet. I'm not going to make the east and south yet, because I'm not even really going those directions in my base. I might make them in the next episode or something, but we'll call that good enough. This has already been a very long episode, but I wanted to get the project done. So we will call it a YouTube episode there. I will keep streaming on Twitch, so stick around. But yeah, for those of you on YouTube, let me know what you think about recursive blueprints, or if you've ever used them. They are a bit tricky to use, but pretty cool once you get them working. But yeah. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next episode.